One of the most important leadership lessons is realizing you're not the most important or the most intelligent person in the room at all times. So I thought that quote summed up a lot of my internship experience that I didn't actually know when I started. So I found out how to be a role model because most of the time I was working in elementary schools this year. So it's really important to be a good role model because all the kids are copying you and following you and watching and seeing what the big kid is doing. um, it's crazy how much I learned so much from the kids actually. Probably more so than I what I taught them, to be honest. They were so nice. Like the way they interacted with each other was a lot cooler and different from the way high schoolers do. And just their curiosity, it really inspired me. I found out that there's a lot of different ways to be a leader. Sometimes it's dancing around the room and having everyone follow you, and sometimes it's holding hands and walking while we're going on a nature walk, and sometimes it's reading a book during nap time. So it can look like a lot of different things. Um, so spring term was a different kind of term than fall term because I didn't end up having an internship till one of the last weeks. So I got to try out a lot of different leadership experiences. Some of them were I was a photographer for an advertisement project, so I got to be a leader in that way. We went and looked at an art museum, and I wasn't necessarily a leader, but I was there and I participated and I was part of a group. I had an interview with a person from Champlain Community Services, and in a way, you're learning to be a leader through talking with an adult in a professional way. We worked at VNA Adult Daycare Center, which was a really cool experience because I worked with a lot of young kids, but I never worked with adults, which was actually really fun, and I realized I enjoyed it. I had a speech at the generator, which I had to be a leader for, so I had to stand up in front of a huge crowd and give a speech, and I was a leader. I was representing what we were doing, which is the human board game, and that was a really cool experience. So I've become a lot more of a leader, and honestly, I wouldn't be able to be talking in front of a crowd like I am today. Woo. I would be terrified. I probably still am terrified, but less terrified. Knowledge acquired in or about a field is a really important thing in big picture because we spend every Tuesday and Thursday at an internship learning about the field that we want to work in. So, an awesome thing about internships is they let students learn about a field of interest from a professional instead of a teacher. So, my example of this is you can spend 4 years in a classroom learning about teaching. Once you're finally there, in a classroom after going to school and learning teaching and getting your degree, and you step foot in the classroom for the first time, and you realize you've never worked with kids, and you don't actually enjoy it, and you don't want to be a teacher, and you wasted all that money and all that time, and you need to start over. So, internships are great because you get to try that out. It's basically a test run. So, starting out in big picture, I thought I wanted to be a teacher. So, I had an internship at a preschool. I got to see the ups and the downs, and if I really wanted to be a preschool teacher. I ended up having different interests. I'm still interested in teaching, but now I'm interested in mental health a little bit more. So I'm going to try that field out and give it a test run. Because a lot of high school students they come out of high school and they're forced to pick something in college, most students, and they end up switching and losing money. Positive self-concept. So, this one's taken me a while to think of, and honestly did a little research and looked at everyone else's opinions on positive self-concept. And I still don't know my example, but I'm going to keep talking and see if one comes out of this. So, I searched a lot of websites, as I said earlier, and they all had different definitions and different answers to what positive self-concept is and how you show it. And I think that's because it's defined and applied to people in different ways. So, as a group in Gateway, we defined it as to be confident in all your actions and who you are with a positive mindset. So, so this means like wherever you are in life, if you do something like you make a mistake and you're like, I did that. Yes, that's me, but I learned from that. Or you find mistakes are okay, it happens, and to be able to see that with a positive mindset, or just to see like I woke up this morning and I got out of bed. I'm happy I did. I don't always wake up and get out of bed at the right time, and to be positive about that. And even like with small things, it doesn't have to be big things. And so this is definitely something that everyone needs to work on. Well, everyone I know at least. Um, Everyone's really hard on themselves in different ways. So I found some facts actually. So I'm gonna play them now. I hope you found those facts interesting. I wanted to show them because I thought it would help show that a lot of people have trouble with positive self concept, and it's not just you or me. So, a way I have positive self concept, I don't know what to say for that. I guess this is one of the metacognitive variables I need to work on. I think I can be positive about myself. Um, I think a way I can help myself with that is start celebrating the good things that I do. And I've noticed that like my diaries and journals are filled with all this negativity and problems in my life and all that. So maybe just start talking about the good things that are happening and the good things that I've been doing and be happy about that. And maybe it'll catch on to everyday life. Um, so before I finish with this variable, um, existentiallifeskills.net says, in order to possess a positive or healthy self-concept, you must know yourself, love yourself, and be true to yourself. So maybe I'll put that on my wall so I can remember that. Realistic self-appraisal. I feel like this one's pretty straightforward and pretty connected to the one before this, positive self-concept. Um, a way to work on this skill is to journal. So we have weekly journals every week in big picture. So we get to talk about how our internship's doing and appraising how our work ethic and everything that's going on. And we're also talk about the work that's been going on that week and how we're doing and if we're doing bad, if we're doing good, our struggles, something that was easy that was surprised us. So journaling is really important if you want to learn how to realistically self-appraise yourself. Rubrics are also another good tool for that. So in project plans, we have to build a rubric so we can assess ourselves in the end, and if someone else was going to assess us, they could use the same rubric. So being able to create a rubric and looking at yourself without bias, like from a different point of view, is appraising yourself realistically. It's also, so if I were to create a paper mache bird, this came up with that on the spot, and I looked at it and it it was this. This is my bird, and I was like, wow, that's a great bird. Look at my bird. They have different standards for what a good bird looks like. So it's being realistic is either here's too good, you're being too positive about yourself. Here's realistic, and here's like low self-esteem and being like, wow, I can never make a bird, I'm untalented. So, and so a rubric's a way to look at it with unbiased. So you can say, my good bird will have 2 wings. So you'll look at your bird and be like, well, he doesn't have 2 wings, so it doesn't fit my criteria of being a good bird. And so to be able to look at things like that, sorry for the weird example, but that's all I got.